As a new beginner into the world of web development, have you ever wondered how you are going to go about creating your new project? Now, the question you ask yourself is, where am I going to place my folders? What kind of files should I have? What kind of folders should I have? How should I name the folders? Where am I going to place them? How am I going to go about them? All these questions are what we are going to tackle in this video right now. Let's get right into it. Hello, my name is Donald Philip with Bluesparrow Media. Now, the question you keep asking, you've asked yourself is this: I'm a newcomer into the world of web development. How am I going to go about starting a new web project? What are the folders I'm going to create? I'm going to have. Where am I going to place them? And some other questions. Now, in this short video, I'm going to take you through, or going to take us through, where you are going to place your folder. Now, it doesn't matter where you place your folder, but I always prefer to place your folder where you can easily have access to them. Some persons save their folder on their desktop, documents, the hard drive, the C drive. If you are using a Windows system, if you're on a Mac, either your just where are you going to put them? It doesn't matter, as long as you remember where you place those folders. You get. I also like to place folders where, assuming I'm going to create several projects, I'm going to have a general project file or folder where all the other folders will be in. But in this short tutorial, I'm going to create this on the desktop. So I'm going to call this what am I going to call this now? Let me rename this folder. So I'm going to rename it web projects for beginners. Right? So I'm going to right click on it and open it in VS Code. There are several web editors you can use. There is Brackets, there is PHP Storm, there is NetBeans. I've used NetBeans, I've used PHP Storm, I've used Atom, I've used Bracket, I've used Notepad++. It doesn't matter if you use Sublime Text, it doesn't matter. But in this video tutorial, I'll be using VS Code. So now, VS Code, I've created a folder on the desktop. You can put them anywhere you want. So as long as your files are not scattered all over the place. So I have this folder displayed this way. I have this folder. Now, how are you going to start? Now, if you are using VS Code, the moment your Visual Studio opens, this is what you get, this interface, the welcome page, where you have your stats, the stats area, where you have the new file open. You want to open new file. Then in this area, you have this area where you can access your files. This place is where you can get extensions to extend your VS Code. Now, in this area of extensions that to extend your VS Code. Now, as a beginner, what you will need basically will be your live server. So let me just click here to. So these are my installed. So let me see if I can get a live server. So let's see. Okay, this is the live server. So this is how it looks like. So when you install it, the moment you install the live server, towards around the footer of your VS Code, you see this go live. Once you click it, it opens your project in your default web browser. So that's this. We also have the material icon theme that I also use. I also use the VS Code icons. VS Code icons. Trying to see if I can. Okay, VS Code icons. So this is what will make the icon look different from the regular. So you're going to see it now when I start creating the folder. So some of the folders you are going to need is basically for the basic setup in your index file, html.com. So let me just close all these pages I've opened. Then what are the folders you are going to need? Now for me, I'm going to use my own typical case. Now for me, I have a folder called public. You can also use assets. So I have a folder called public, and inside this folder, I'll create several folders. Now these several folders, one is images. The other one is CSS, where I can drop my CSS files. The other one is if you're interested in SAS, which at this stage you might not want to go, but let's assume you're interested in SAS. I'll have a SAS folder. I can now come and have if your website is going to have videos, you include videos. If it's going to have audios, you include audios. If it's going to have then or any other thing you think could be here, like maybe you can decide to separate image from graphics. You can have something like that there. So this is for your public folder for your front end. You could also have folder for JS, your JavaScript files. Your JavaScript files could also come here. Then if you want to start creating other pages, like your about pages, you could have a folder called about us. So you can have another folder called services. You can have folders like maybe folders for portfolio to showcase your work. Right? You can get to have a file for contacts or even a folder for contacts. It doesn't matter how. So these are just the basic conventions, just the basic folders and files. You could add more if you want to. You could add more. Now another thing you also need to know is what are your naming conventions? How are you going to name your folders? Now, first and foremost, you need to name your folders. Your both files and folders should all be in small letters, called lowercase. Do not mix your casing. Let me give you an example. Do not mix your casing and do contacts like this, and you have, just don't confuse yourself. Just do small casing. Then if you have compound words, you could do, let's say something like our services now. If you have compound words, you separate them using hyphen. Instead of underscore, you separate them using hyphen. Same for folders. You separate them using hyphen. Even including your files, your image files, always better you use this naming convention, hyphen all through. So that you can have this consistency in your design. Then when it comes to how do you bring all now if you want to work as a newbie, if you want your folders, you can go to, let's say for example, I have my video folder somewhere. You just let me go to my desktop back, and I have this small video. Copy it, open my web project, go to public, go to videos, and paste the item there. So you have the item there. Open my VS Code back, and you have the video in your timeline. So you have a video in your folder. So these are just basically some of the things you need to when it comes to folders and files. Folders and files. You get? And another thing, as a newbie in web development, my advice is consistency is key. Practice is key. Don't think you become better in web development overnight. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes things change every day. Things change by the second, by the hour. When it comes to the world of web development, so you need to keep abreast of what is happening. There are resources online, YouTube resources, W3 schools, and other places you can go to learn what is going on, so that you keep abreast of what is happening in the industry. One of the most terrible things is using technology that is outdated, or not knowing that things have evolved and moved on, and you are still thinking that what you know is what people still use, or what's. You just need to keep updating yourself. Then you need to have a good positive mindset. A good positive mindset. So how do you now, to start to create your folder? Let me just move on with this, and we can close the video. I don't want it to be too long. Then when you come to your index folder like this, rather your index file, to fill it up with the HTML structure, the boiler templates, you just use your Shift 1 on your keyboard and tab. Then it fills this up for you. Then you can now change the title document. I'm sure this you will know by now. Web projects for absolute beginners. Absolute beginners. Then another thing you are going to use as a web developer is your browser. You're going to use browsers. I use two browsers I use Microsoft Edge and Chrome. So I use both of them interchangeably. Once in a while, I want to use my Safari on my system. So you could use at least two browsers to check your project, to see how they are scaling, how they are working. If you need to make an adjustment in your design or codes to fit in what you are doing. So you always remember that your browser, you could also get, at the basic level, you could get a sketch pad or a notepad with a pen to write down ideas or sketch out ideas or mock up an idea that you want to put up. So that is basically the thing you need, apart from your computer system. That obviously you need a computer system, you need internet access, but basically this is just at the basic level what you need. By the time you move on with these basic things, then you begin to advance and you begin to need other things that will enhance your work as a web developer. I hope this short video has helped you to understand the things, the steps you need to take as you journey into the world of web development. Please, if you like the content of this video, please subscribe to our channel and also click the notification box so that you don't miss any of our video as they come out every 2 weeks. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.